I'm Vanessa Joy, Canon Explorer of Light and a wedding photographer for the past 20 years. I'm here to show you what I bring on any given wedding day. Let's start off with what I use on 80% of any given wedding day. I have my Canon EOS R5 with the RF 28-70 f2 lens on it. Now this baby is a beast, but it replaces 3 lenses that I used to bring, and now I just have to bring this one. A lot of people ask about my camera strap. It is a tripod mount camera strap, which does make it a little bit difficult to shoot with the camera's vertical grip, but to me, this camera strap is worth it. I do apologize. It is nice. It is custom. You can't get this anymore. It was made by a brand called Kawa Pro Gear, and they went out of business. So that's first and foremost what I typically am using at any part of the day. Next up, my second favorite lens, which at the time of this recording, there is no RF version, so I am using the Canon lens adapter to adapt the EF lens to my mirrorless camera. This is the 135 f2. You can guess what my favorite aperture is. So these 2 lenses are what I am using most of the time on a wedding day. I love this for the versatility. You can just get anything that you want with this, zoom in, zoom out, all with the power of that prime lens, low aperture and look. And then of course, the 135, it's also one of my favorites because I will very often go to a 1.6 crop on this 45 megapixel camera, the Canon R5, which ends up giving me about an 18 megabyte file, but what it does is it turns this 135 focal length into about a 202 millimeter focal length at f2. It is a digital zoom, but it's pretty helpful in certain situations where, I would probably have a 70-200, which you'll notice is not in my bag. And instead, I'll be using a 135 and be able to go down to f2 in low light situations like in ceremonies. So that's my preference. I know, I just shocked you. I don't bring a 70-200. I don't. Now, if I have extra room in my camera bag, I am bringing the RF 85mm 1.2 LUSM lens. This Canon lens is beautiful. It is so nice for portraits. Definitely one of my favorites. Let me go into some of the other lenses. A must-have if you're a wedding photographer is a macro lens to get close-up shots of all of the jewelry and especially the wedding rings. So I have the older version, the EF100 f2.8 macro lens made by Canon as well. And then the last lens that I bring is the RF 15-35 2.8 lens. It's just a must-have for getting those really wide shots in reception halls, landscapes, things like that. So that is my lens and camera arsenal. Of course, I do bring a backup camera, and I know my backup camera is a little bit unorthodox, but it just happens to be the other camera that I have, the Canon R3. I will use the Canon R5 starting off the day and go all the way into the reception, and then when I get to the reception, starting with the intros, I will switch to my R3. The reason why I like doing this is because this camera is just better in low light, both the quality of the EVF and how fast it focuses. Plus, I like using that eye control autofocus while people are dancing to make sure that the camera is focusing on the subject that I want it to focus on versus somebody that's jumping, dancing around in front of them. So that's my backup camera. Let's get to lighting. My flash of choice is the ProPhoto A1X or the ProPhoto A10 or even the ProPhoto A1. They're all really great lights, but I love using this, and I do have a Canon EL1, but I tend to use my ProPhoto lights on camera because it works with the other light that I bring, my ProPhoto B10. So these will trigger each other, so it's really important that I have those communicate. So this I'm using to bounce flash. I do also put it on camera and just tilt it forward a little bit to get sort of that direct flash look that's trendy right now. And then I have my B10 that's going to be more powerful strobe. I'll use it for family photos and of course with modifiers, which we'll get to next. I'll use it at night. I'll use it when I need just a little bit more power than my flash is going to output for me. Of course, I need a transmitter. Next up, flash modifiers, very, very important. So for my speed light, I have these nice click magnets. I've got grids here as well as CTO gels, and they just magnet right on. So they're super easy, very convenient. Another modifier that I like for my speed light is this bounce card that Profoto makes. So it does come in blue as well as white. I tend to just use the white one. And this is really great for going, whoops. And this is really great for just popping it on here in case you can't bounce flash. Maybe you're in a barn and you don't want to set up off-camera lights, or you don't have off-camera lights. You could just pop this on and it's a nice soft bounce forward. Great, great tool, this little bounce card right here. And then light modifiers for my B10. Most of them are right here in this little bag. Basically the same thing as those magnets, and they do have magnet versions, but this takes up less space in my bag, so I use the old versions. I've got a gel and I've got grids. So that's what those are. Other light modifiers I have, this is one of my favorite reflectors. I've been using it forever. It is an Adorama exclusive Glow 5-in-1 42-inch reflector. It has a translucent, black, white, gold and silver, and silver reflectors. It's the only reflector you're ever gonna need. It's really phenomenal. And it's only like 30 bucks. The other light modifiers, which I'm not gonna put on the table, but I will show you, are a little bit larger. I am using a Manfrotto stand. It's the Manfrotto stackable 12-foot stand. All right, great one. Sometimes I bring two, but typically only one. And then very important, I am bringing my Profoto Click softbox. This is the fastest way to set up a softbox on your A1, on your speedlight flash. So it's just super fast to set up, absolutely love it. I have a whole nother video on that if you want to see that. I'm also bringing for the B10, this is my extra large, deep translucent shoot through umbrella with the diffuser as well. And this is what I'm gonna use when I just want some big soft light. Maybe I'm inside, maybe I'm shooting families, maybe I'm doing portraits, and I just want a nice, big, soft light. I have a whole nother video here on the channel about this also. So this is it as far as shooting, but that's not where I stop on wedding days. I'm really big on backing up my pictures, but also doing same day edits the night of the wedding. So let me show you what else I bring. I also do bring extra colored gels in case I feel like having a little bit of lighting fun. But during the reception, I will take this NAR box. This is a great piece of equipment with a sadly discontinued company, so if you can grab these, grab them. All I need to do to get my second shooter photos from that night, very same night, without chasing them down for it later or making them upload things later, is this NAR box. It has an SD card slot, so I will grab their photos right then and there without having to bring a laptop, just this little thing, and then of course I'll back up my photos as well. What I do with the same day edit, because both of these cameras are Wi-Fi enabled, I bring my phone. And my phone has Lightroom on it. And I will pick somewhere between 40 and 80 photos, Wi-Fi them over to my phone. I separate them in the camera by just using the rate button. You have a rate button on your camera. I don't know if you know that, but what it does is when I connect the camera to the Canon Connect app, it's going to push those rated photos up to the top of all my images so I can quickly see them right on the top and grab them, download them, edit them in Lightroom, and then I put them on this iPad Pro that I bring to a wedding. And I just stick it on the bar right here with an easel, and I just let it sit there. And the reason I don't do a same day edit where I'm displaying it on a projector or I'm not using a digital picture frame where it'll go through a slideshow, I don't want a slideshow happening. I want my clients to find this. Oh, it's on. I can show you from the last wedding. So I've got all these pictures from my last wedding on here. I just plop it on just like that. And I want people to come up and I want them interacting with it. I want them swiping through. I want them airdropping these photos to their phone, and I want them sharing them right away. I find that having a more interactive iPad like this versus just a display, people will pick it up and bring it around. I'll usually hand it to the couple first and let them start showing people, and then I'll stick it by the bar. They actually look through more photos because they're doing it themselves versus if they were just standing there getting bored by a really slow slideshow. I find that to be super, super effective. I think that's it. That's all my crap. It's actually not even that much. I fit it into 3 different bags, my tripod bag, a Rolly Porter case, and of course my Profoto bag. This is really for all my same day edit stuff. The iPad goes really nicely in there. Yeah, and that's all my stuff. Make sure you head to my description and you can click directly to all of these things that I bring on any given wedding day. All right, hit subscribe, ring the bell. I will see you next time. Bye.